What do your clothes say about you? Your shirt, your shoes, your tie, your khadi kurta. Like it or not, clothes are always signaling messages about us to others. Clothes talk. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they shout. They can say, I'm hip, I'm trendy, I'm super successful, I'm creative, I'm sporty, I'm trying to be youthful, even I don't give a damn. Today we're going to decode the secret language of clothes with well-known designer David Abraham. David graduated from the National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad. He's also frequently written about the part that design plays in our lives. David, how much do appearances really matter?
I think we assess everyone we meet visually. That is the first impact, it's visual. Our socioeconomic status, education, which part of town you live in pretty much sometimes, though that can be deceptive. What your tastes are in, in general cultural activities, which part of the country you're from. I think it's just that there's a whole lot of stuff that comes through one's clothing choices. Society is essentially tribal in nature, and we form tribes. It could be what they call the mall rat, all the kids who hang around malls with, jeans that are practically falling off their hips, mobile phone in one ear, the latest trainers. That is a particular tribe. And within that particular tribe, everybody's communicating to each other who they are, where they're from, by what they're wearing.
You see a lot of people today wearing dark-colored, solid khadi kurtas. What's the kind of signal that they are giving?
Somebody who wears a dark, or just a khadi kurta, who's wearing at parties, and it's particularly if it's a fairly sort of, elite South Delhi sort of party, I think is trying to tell you that A, they are fairly assured in who they are. It's a statement of being an Indian with a certain educational background, I think. From what I've seen, there could be, senior bureaucrats, there could be people in the arts, there could even be some people in business. And this is the image that, you have in the evening that I'm wearing this kurta, I'm wearing khadi, I am a part of this.
Let's take the guy in the tough-looking leather jacket, jeans, bare-chested. What's he signaling?
There's always been that stereotype that, leather jacket, motorcycle is a rebel. That's the clothing that's adopted by young men at a particular point in their lives when you've become aware of the mating game. It's a very sexual way of dressing.
How about a woman in Fab India kind of clothes, cottons? She also is signaling a certain kind of message. What is she saying?
I subscribe to a value system that believes in tradition, that is a little anti-conformist. It's a little left of center. It's, I'm not somebody who's going to buy a designer handbag. I'll probably have a chola on my shoulder. Handloom saris are, you see them in certain places. You see them at certain art exhibitions, you see them in certain museums, you see them at film festivals. serious, earnest talks.
Take a man who's very elegantly dressed. When you see a man like this, what immediately are you sensing?
Somebody who has very sophisticated taste, who also knows that particular area. Somebody who wears, say, Church's shoes is somebody who really knows shoes, because those are the finest, handmade English shoes that you can get. It's not somebody who's slavish about fashion also. It's somebody who's a little above that, who's very conscious about clothing and very conscious about style and not necessarily about fashion, and also somebody who's got very deep pockets and a very large clothing budget. There's a new young man who sort of has emerged now, who's a metrosexual, called a metrosexual by the media. And he's somebody who spends a lot of money on grooming, on, expensive hair gel, designer haircuts, designer clothes, maybe wears, pink shirts. He sort of plays a bit with this whole business of, gender stereotypes. He's willing to be a little more experimental. I think it's a surface treatment. And you do see lots of young guys who look like they're very cool and they're very with it. But those are not necessarily the views that they will hold. They may be all, still waiting to have, a traditional wife at home. They may be waiting to, So it can be very deceptive.
Even without opening their mouths, each one of these people have managed to convey several impressions about themselves. Researchers have found that it takes only 7 seconds to create a first impression, and it tends to stick. Clothes speak in code. We feel an automatic comfort with those who dress like we do. In a room full of strangers, we can immediately identify people like us. And clothes play a huge role in the attraction game.
Somebody said, that, I can't remember who it was, fashion is a polite way of talking about sex. But it's true. The clothing one chooses to wear is, I think those choices are made by us because we wish those clothes to emit certain signals, to say certain things.
We're talking about clothes and the secret messages that they're always beaming out. Even if you don't think this is a big deal, you're still part of the game because perception is everything. We'll be back after the break to talk about a frequently used term, bar dressing, and what it means. Meanwhile, take a minute to think about this question. Why do you think bankers always wear business suits?